I'm Cathy Reichel, life coach, counselor, speaker, video series host, and author of Strong Families, Strong People. With all the stress we're under from the world's endless bombardment, we all need a constant source of strength for ourselves and our families. That is why I'm excited to announce the release of my new book, Strong Parenting: Practical Tips for Strengthening and Enjoying Your Family. In my new book, you will read and explore proven biblical principles and practical tips that will help you think and act like a strong parent, equipping you with tools to help your kids learn good habits in powerful prayer, forgiveness, competition, genuine strength, money management, entertainment, whining, controlling your tongue, chores, and more. Don't let your family feel lost in the chaos of this world. Get your copy now by clicking on the link in the description and start your journey of strong parenting today.
Welcome to this month's episode of the Strong Families, Strong People live stream from Cathy Reichel Speaking Services. In this episode, we explore family dynamics and answer your questions live in text chat. Now presenting our host, author, counselor, and speaker, Cathy Reichel.
Thank you for tuning in to my live stream. I hope everybody had a very merry and sweet Christmas time with your family and loved ones. It's good to get back together again. Let's go ahead and start with prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for the hour that I have with people listening. Thank you, Father, for those that will listen in the future, that they tune in at just the right time to hear something that will be helpful for their relationships. Thank you for your goodness to us, God. In the name of your wonderful Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay, the first question is, starting this new year, I'm afraid nothing in my life will change. What can I do to ensure progress and not get stuck in the cycle of previous years? Boy, that's kind of a sentiment you hear so often. One really practical thing to do, and I'm all in about practicality, definitely pray and ask for God to partner with you in whatever it is you want to change. But get an accountability partner that loves you, that will partner with you and make you accountable, and agree on how long you'll go in between talking with each other. Will you talk daily? Will you talk weekly? You got to be at least weekly. Monthly's not enough. And define clearly and practically what it is that you want to change, either to move away from or to move closer to, or you need to have happen. Define it clearly, get an accountability partner, and pray, partner with God. So that's all I want to say, because I don't know the nature of what you're trying to do, but I just know the nature of trying to develop a good habit is difficult, as opposed to trying to stay away from a bad habit is difficult. But an accountability partner and prayer is very important. Who do you most credit in your life for the best life lessons learned? Well, Jesus, of course. I love the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Same story, different perspective, very rich, very full. I take a lot of advice, encouragement, and reproof in the Gospels.
And what person you've met?
What person that I've met? Like regular human being kind of person. For the best life lessons learned. I guess my husband, Dale. Our whole family, I think, learns from each other very well, but it would be my husband, Dale. Almost 40 years together. This coming August will make 40 years. I've been around him more than anybody else, and he's pretty smart. My best friend is Muslim. I want to share Christ with her. How do you recommend that I do so without being seen as pushy while respecting her culture? I would recommend, again, I'm practical. Certainly you would pray about this and be sensitive, but don't be too sensitive or you won't open your mouth. This would be a really good idea, I think. Go online and just Google witnessing to Muslims and then just read and read and read and read. And it'll have in there other questions people ask. And then just keep trolling and become kind of an expert on the advice. There'll be different people, different angles, but there'll definitely be some do not do this that might seem like an obvious thing for you to do. But with the love in your heart and the purity in your heart, coupled with God's insight, coupled with learning about the needs that Muslims have spiritually, I think that will equip you to be able to talk to your friend. And I pray you're successful. That's a wonderful thing to want to do. My 12-year-old daughter wants a nose piercing, and I don't want her to have one. She seems miserable without it and keeps asking, what should I do? If she's miserable about not getting a nose piercing, she needs to get involved in activities that have a little bit more meaning. You don't want a shallow daughter that wants to be noticed because of a piercing. Get her involved in more meaningful activities. If she's in a church group, she either needs to get more involved or get her in a different church group, because that's shallow thinking. And to give into it, I think, is to give into shallow thinking. She's bored. When you want to bore holes in your nose, it's boring, unless it means something to her that we don't know. That might be a good question to ask her, is what does it mean to you? And if there's any depth of heart in it at all, work with that. But piercing is just kind of a shortcut to fame. Real fame, or real being noticed, has to do with contributing something, contributing an idea or an invention or an organization or comfort or encouragement. But to get fame because you put a hole in your nose, that's kind of a cheap shortcut. So develop depth in your daughter. Get her involved in meaningful activities, whatever that means for the two of you. But talk to her, not judgingly or condescendingly, but look her in the eye and go deep with what is important to her and what she wants to say with this piercing, and see if there's not a better way to say it and contribute more. Okay? I am unsure of the economy in this next year, but would like to start a small business that would fulfill my soul. My wife is hesitant and wants me to stay with the job I hate, but pays well. Help. Well, I don't want to get in the middle of that, but I will say, do you pray with your wife? Because you need to pray for and with her, especially if you're going to start a new business. I don't know the nature of the business or what it would take to get it up, but apparently it's a dream that you have. If you will pray with your wife concerning this for 1 month and see where the economy goes at this very tricky time, then God will tell you the same thing that he'll tell her, or at least it won't contradict. It'll be different because of your personalities and experiences, but it won't contradict. If you don't pray with your wife, you should start praying with your wife. If she's afraid, then God can comfort her heart and strengthen her. Also, I've heard that you never quit a job until you have another one. So if possible, it would be better to keep the job that you have and just work very, very hard on starting your business. I will say, though, that the prophets that I've been listening to have been in agreement that this upcoming year is going to be one of great prosperity for people that pray and believe. That maybe businesses that you've tried and failed with before, this is the time to do it. So let that put some wings to your prayers, that the prophets are saying it's a good time for believers, not just people that go to Sunday school, but believers to try a new business or to try to fulfill a dream and a calling. So I wish you well. My small dog keeps biting neighbors that come over. I hate the dog, but my kids love it. I want to get rid of it, but it would break their heart. Thoughts? Yes, I do have some thoughts. In a day where we take better care of our animals than many people do their children, we really need to do some thinking. I think it all started with Bambi, putting human emotions and human words into animals' minds, and that's just not right. In the Old Testament, sacrifices were just a part of life, and they respected the animal, and the priest was to put his hand on the animal's head and recognize that it was a sacrifice. So the animals are valuable to God, but they are not human. They don't have human emotions. Some of them do have more personality than some people that you know. But a dog is a dog is a dog is a dog, and it's biting neighbors. It's biting the neighbors. That's a no-brainer. If it's biting neighbors, you could get sued, especially if you know that he bites neighbors and you haven't done anything about it. So give the dog to the pound or whatever, or find a new home or whatever. But if it breaks their heart, then you need to teach your children better. It's a dog, it's biting neighbors. Our values in this family are that you don't have something that would be dangerous to your neighbors. And even though if he breaks the skin, the, um, the bacteria that's in the saliva of a dog can cause you to lose an arm. It's very, very dangerous. And this is not something you mess around with. And I appreciate that you're sensitive to your kids' feelings, but you need to sit down and just have a good heart-to-heart talk on the family values here and the dangers that that dog has potentially has for the family. I wish you well. Ooh, I am 200 pounds overweight. Bless your heart. Boy, that's tough. That's hard on your heart. And no diet seems to work. I am losing hope. All my family is overweight. Is there any hope for me? Certainly. Certainly there's hope for you. Yes, there's hope for you. And from your writing, I can tell no diets don't work, but people work because they're using different disciplines or different strategies to get different solutions. Some practical ideas are make sure that you're praying and asking God to help you lose the weight, and be specific and watch your confession. Your confession is, I am steadily losing the weight I want to take off. I am steadily improving my heart. I am steadily improving my overall health. And even if you just get out of the holidays like we did and you gained 5 pounds, I only gained 5 pounds during the holidays, and I know I can take that off quickly. So watch your confession. And then as you pray, and I recommend that you pray, you said your whole family's overweight. Grab someone in the family, a spouse probably would be best, but I don't know your family, and pray with them as well. And if they've given up, if they don't want to lose the weight, then pray for whatever their goals may be, but get them to on your side, pulling for you, not baking brownies when you want to eat celery and carrot sticks and enjoy them. But there will be some sacrifices. You no doubt have some food allergies, and you no doubt have some food addictions. So you need to look those in the eye and conquer them. But as you pray, I think God will put articles, emails, texts, billboards, and people in your path that will help you find just the right solution to your problem. And then there's always that operation where they tie off your tummy. I've forgotten what that's called. I don't have it in my mind right now. But I've known 2 people that did that successfully. And they were criticized. Oh, why didn't you just believe God to be able to stop eating? Where was your self-control? But the lady that did it and lost 100 pounds over the course of, I think, a year, she said, I knew I had to. She had been criticized by some of her church friends. And she said, I knew I had to because I was killing myself. And she did. And when I met her, she just had a cute little figure. I said, you've lost 100 pounds. I was amazed, but she did it, I guess that would have been what, maybe 10 pounds a month kind of thing, 8 pounds a month. But it's very doable, but you have to be committed and get an accountability partner that you pray with. I wish you the best. I feel like my husband and I keep talking past each other. We are on the same team, but every night we go to bed with arguments unresolved. Any advice? Yes, stop that. Stop that. You own your house. You pay your rent or your mortgage. Stop that. You own your time. Just make a rule together, make a pact that you will not discuss anything controversial within 2 hours of bedtime or something that will make sense. Just don't do it. And the Bible says, let not the sun go down upon your wrath. You might not can settle everything. And I hope you're praying together. I doubt that you are if you're going to bed angry. Pray together It'll take somewhere between 30 seconds and 2 minutes. Pray together for harmony, for you guys to be able to understand and respect each other's perspective, and to listen and learn from each other, as well as praying about the specifics that you disagree on. God can open up both of your minds so that you get a solution that's better than what either one of you could think of alone. That's my practical advice. Do it, do it, do it, and start today. It doesn't cost any money, and it takes very little time, and it will put your hearts into solution mode rather than plead my case mode. Very, very important. And love each other. You say you're on the same team. That's good. That's good. That's good. But just don't discuss anything of controversial nature 2 hours before bed, and then put on some nice, pleasant music that you both enjoy. Okay? I wish you the best. Legally, I'm allowed time off, but my work desperately needs me. They are a nonprofit I believe in, but they do not pay overtime, and I am in conflict. What should I do? Nonprofits are wonderful, and they tend to pay their people anywhere from a little bit less to a lot less, but you need enough money to live on. I don't know if what you're saying is that you don't have enough money or that you feel abused, but get clear on that, especially if you've got a spouse and a family. If you feel like you're not properly respected, is there something besides money that would do that even better? If you need the money, you need the money. So you need to talk to your boss about that if you need the money. And I would talk to the boss also about burnout, because if you're not properly rested and respected, you're going to get burnout and leave. And then they'll have to start all over with somebody new. So think practical, 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 and don't whine and moan and complain. Look them right in the eye. Maybe have a little outline of the points you want to cover, and talk to them about it. Nonprofits, if they're solvent, have some reserve. They've got a little wiggle room in there. They could up your salary, but just talk lovingly but firmly about what you need and get clear on what you need. Wish you the best. Let's see, COVID has been all the way through my family except me. I don't know if I'm immune or if I should expect it to hit me hard eventually. What do you recommend I do for my family? That's very controversial. I know a lot of people that aren't the least bit interested in the vaccine that got rushed. I know people that are just waiting for it, can't wait to get theirs. But at any rate, God, not a vaccine, is responsible for our health. Pray about it with the whole family. Pray about it especially with your wife. There's no need to think that you're going to get it necessarily. And if you do get it, 94% of the people that are 80 or above don't die with it. They have, I think, 4 different cures for it now. That if you get it early in the sequence, that you can beat it. So my philosophy, really, instead of closing the economy down, is protect the vulnerable, the elderly people, and the people that have morbidity factors, and treat the sick. And if look online and write down notes about cures for COVID, and just troll down and see what you can read. You might have to troll down 6, 8, 10, because they're going to call most of the cures false or myths. But do your own research. And some people are even able to get some medicines that they can have on hand. One that a doctor told me about that is, it mimics hydroxychloroquine, is cortisone, Quetercin, I think. And you take that with zinc, and it's supposed to have prophylactic help as well as curative help. But it's out there. Just do your research, get what you need to get, and pray with your family. And don't be afraid. So I wish you well, and congratulations on not getting it. That's wonderful. I never seem to get ahead financially, and there's always something that comes up. I want to pay off my credit card debt, but feel shackled. How can I do better this year? Write down your goals to start with, and then get clear and concerned about, do you really want them? Do you really want them as much as you enjoy spontaneity and just spending as you will? And, we all know about the things that come up. You've got a great budget and you're holding to it well, and then the transmission breaks down. So you definitely want to pray about your financial goals. So set reasonable goals and then pray to be able to reach those goals. Pray with your wife and your whole family. Get clear on those goals. If you haven't had Dave Ramsey's class, take it. That's, what's the name of it, John?
Financial Peace University.
Financial Peace University is wonderful because it helps you and your spouse get on the same page. And it lines things up to, it's not just oh, I want to do better next year. It draws straight lines about how to get there. And it's also a Christian oriented class, so that you have God and your spouse partnering with you, and people get out of debt phenomenally quick. And also there's usually people increase their income. And it just, that's not even a major goal sometimes, but they just, the way God puts things in their path, their income is increased. And there's other principles in it too, but I won't go into it. I'll just let you, maybe you've already had the class and you need to take it again, but I highly recommend that class. And goals and prayer. I wish you the best. My son has ADHD and twitches. He and his dad eat sugar all the time. Not one single minute they don't. They eat sugar a lot. But I don't think it is best for him. How do I help change their habits without breaking up their bonding time? I think you might be shortchanging your husband a bit. I think he can do more than just eat with your son. I would challenge him to do more than just eat sugary things, but you're definitely on the right track. Sugar does everything. They've talked about it damaging memory, as well as the ADHD, as well as damaging the brain, setting your blood up for not leukemia, but what am I thinking of, John? The other one, diabetes. Yeah. And juvenile diabetes is on the rise because we have so much sugar. I would go online and just Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever you have, damages of sugar, and just read it and become an expert on that. And then cut and paste whatever you want to into an article for your husband. And because they'll believe articles that they read more than they'll believe their wife kind of droning on and on about how you shouldn't eat so much sugar. And then just feed him maybe like one article a week and say, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And see if you can get him to discuss it with you so that you can work with him intellectually as well as emotionally about working with his son, and see if you can help him, challenge him to have other activities that he can share with your son. So God bless you. You're on the right track. My mother-in-law hates me. Oh my. I try to treat her well and respect her, but every time my wife and I, so you're the husband, are over at their house, we are both miserable. What can I do to improve? Well, I don't know a lot of details. Does she hate you because you've done something awful that she is having a hard time forgiving you from, or is she just doesn't think you're good enough for her daughter? I don't know if she really hates you or if you just annoy her. But at any rate, you and your wife talk and pray about this, because even if she is critical and annoying and making you miserable, you said, she's a human being and she can be worked with. And it's never too late. And she is your wife's mother. So you want a victory in this. So pray with your wife explicitly about knowing what to do with this woman. And if God may tell you to avoid her, I don't know. Because I don't know enough detail, and spiritually I don't know what's in her heart, and you probably don't either. But very practically, not condescending, but not negative and whiny, pray with your wife about what to do about her mother and how miserable you feel around her. And I said she makes you miserable. Nobody can make you miserable. You decide to let it make you miserable. Maybe go with a handful of gifts and sweet cards and just bowl her over with love and attention. I don't know, but pray with your wife about it and brainstorm and think through what might be causing it and ask God to help you with how to fix that and what to do with your wife and your family. I wish you the best. My 15-year-old daughter is infatuated with a boy from school that I don't think is good for her. How do I encourage good decision-making in dating without breaking her heart? Well, what is this? Breaking the kids' hearts if they can't eat sugar, if they can't pierce their nose, and now if you're discouraging a relationship. Your 15-year-old won't die. She won't evaporate or melt if you have a reasonable, loving talk with her. Share with her your concern, not your fear, but your concern, and just talk to her. Find out what she enjoys about him. Is it an infatuation? Is it a friendship? Is it something that could hurt her? How do I encourage good decision making in dating? Well, that's assuming that your decision making is the right one here, and it very well could be, because I think that's a gift that God gives parents when kids are not in good company. So I respect that. But as far as breaking her heart, she is in your home, and you are supporting her financially, and she needs to listen to your thinking, and she needs to obey your rules. So if this boyfriend is just downright villainous, you can say you may not see him, but that sometimes can get the Romeo and Juliet effect going. So definitely pray with your daughter, let her know, and speak with her lovingly about it. Let her know it's because she is so important. And what happens at 15, especially with the internet and phones, what happens at 15 can stay with her whole life. When she's running for Congress at age 40, people can come up with pictures or texts that could blow it for her. But let her know how much you love her, how important she is, how wonderful she is. She's bright and loving and pretty, or whatever would bless her heart, whatever's on your heart. And you have a concern and you want to talk to her, woman to woman as well as mother to daughter, and then do some talking and then do some listening. And definitely the two of you pray together. I'd love to hear how that goes. Let's see. I can't sleep. I'm stressing constantly over the political situation and the state of the world. What can I do to get some peace? Boy, I hear you. It's pretty crazy out there, isn't it? Do you have a devotional routine that you do where you read the Bible and pray? That's so important. Also, if you are a Christian, and most of the people that write in are, listen to the prophets. The prophets are so encouraging now. I'm thinking of Kevin Zadai, Mario Murillo, who else? Johnny Enlow.
Sid Roth, I suppose.
Yeah, Sid Roth hosts a lot of prophets, but they have a lot of encouragement that these are times that you stand fast in. They're not times that you give up and be afraid. And then also just don't watch the news over and over and over and over again. Maybe just catch a little bleep just so that you know what's going on a little bit. And then listen to some nice music, watch nature scenes on television, get out in nature, exercise, and definitely nothing controversial 2 hours and within 2 hours of when you want to go to sleep. And also sometimes I take melatonin. It just kind of smooths out your wiring so that you can sleep better, and it's not addictive and it's cheap. Um, but you got to remember, God's got this. I'm not one that believes that God's in control of everything. Ultimately, He is, but this is man's day. But He's got this, and He's got you. And Daniel was a child when his country was captured, and he was raised in captivity. But God still took care of Daniel, and he grew to be second in command by the time he was an old man. So if the country even does go down, which I don't believe it's going to, but even if it does, God can take care of you and your family, and you can take that to the bank. So sweet sleep tonight. My kids are going stir crazy with all the lockdowns and having to school at home. What can we do to spice things up? Gosh, there's a lot of stuff online, suggestions people have. Uh, Go ahead and go online and we just say Google like it's the only browser out there, but go to whatever browser you use and get some ideas for lockdown, uh, interesting activities or schooling at home uh, help, and just see what comes up and get some good ideas. Basically, it's always good to get up and get outside if you possibly can, unless you're in a snowstorm or a flood. Get outside, get outside, get outside, and pray together. This would be a great time to read a book out loud together, a positive, fun, good book, something maybe funny or some historical biography that would be good for them to know, or maybe a devotional that you work together. But take advantage of this time. A lot of people have said that their families have gotten closer than they've ever gotten before. Work projects could be fantastic, something that you've always wanted to get done, but you were in such a dither with taking kids to lessons and that sort of thing. Let everybody come up with a work project and then do it together and have fun. I'd like to know what you come up with. Let me know next week. I am in love with a man who doesn't know I exist. All my girlfriends say I should make the first move, but I would prefer he notice me naturally. Should I force it? Well, I don't know that that's forcing it. You can't force him to like you or be attracted to you. Um, and you're not in love with a man who doesn't know you exist because you don't know him. If he doesn't know you exist, you don't know him. You're in love with who you think he is. And I would say definitely you need to meet him. Now, you don't tell me if you're 16 or 36, but if there's someone that you're fascinated with, that you're interested in, if it's something other than just looks, because looks are so shallow, but if maybe you've heard him speak or you know what he's involved with and you admire him for those things, definitely walk right up, look him right in the eye and say, hi, I'm whatever your name is, and I enjoy whatever you've seen him do that admires you. And I just wanted to get to know you a little better. Um, that can work. And then you might find out, oh, he's not all I thought he was. Or you might find out that he is, and now he knows you. But I wouldn't call it, should I force it? I would just call it, I would like to introduce myself and see where that goes. You can't force anything. And make sure that always pray about these things. Make sure that what you have in your heart is what you need to have in your heart when you meet this person. You might need to do some shoring up of your ideas and your goals, and God can help you with that. So pray beforehand, and then I encourage you, no, don't force anything, but certainly introduce yourself to this person. I'd like to know how it goes. How are we doing for time here? Oh, we've got plenty. Okay. I teach 5th grade and take my stress home with me. My husband thinks I'm just babysitting a few kids and does not really respect my job. How do I share with him the weight of my work? Well, you got to talk to him and pray with him. Uh, if you don't pray together, you should start praying together, because that's where the solution is. God can talk to him and God can talk to you, and he's not going to tell you contradictory things. And as he hears your heart when you pray and you hear his, it gets you involved in each other's lives. And then you like follow up. And then when you follow up, you get closer and closer to solutions. I think the solution that you want here is that you want him to respect what you do. So you need to tell him the interesting things that happen and the fun things that happen, the things that happen at work that just thrill your soul, that a child got some concept or did some great thing. And then you can tell him about the things that are exhausting and challenging. But don't just give him the negative, because that can seem like you're whining. And whiners don't get respect. They might get sympathy, but whiners don't get respect. So be full, be interesting. Tell him the good as well as the stuff that just sucks your energy out. And find out more about what he does as well. But definitely start praying together. It takes 30 seconds to 2 minutes. If you're really on a roll, maybe five minutes. That would be kind of a long 2-person prayer. But it needs to be every day, either morning or night or both. Both is better. And then I think he would learn to respect more what you do and what you get done and how important it is. And make sure you're respecting what he does too. I wish you the best. Dating has been miserable this past year. Everyone just wants a one-night stand. Are there any decent guys left in the world? Where are they? Oh, I hear that quite a bit. And I think, since probably the 60s, when it became not only acceptable, but encouraged that people experiment with sex, and that there's absolutely no shame at all in having a sexual relationship with somebody, it has not brought out the best in men. And women have considered it to be an equalizer. I can enjoy sex without being married. And I guess you enjoy the event because it doesn't encourage men to rise up and be fathers and heads of households when they can have sex without doing that. So, but that's not an answer to your question. Are there any decent guys left in the world? Yes, there are. But some of them are confused. They're really decent people, but they're confused because of our culture, the culture that we have that's off the word, with promiscuity, the whole homosexual LGBTQ agenda. Not that I'm down on those people at all, but I'm down on the agenda that is normal. That's not normal according to the Word of God. We would argue maybe about what solution is, but hurting people need love and help, not condemnation. They're decent guys, yes, and you'll need to get to the heart of it. Maybe listening more than you talk, where you meet them. Did you meet them in church? Did you meet them with a special interest? Maybe you both like birds, or you both like cars, or you both like camping, or you both like military books or biographies. That's where you meet someone that if romantically you don't click, then you found a friend that you share an interest with, and it's safe that way. So where are they? What are your interests, and what kind of clubs or groups are out there that share that interest? Then you've got a better chance of meeting someone that you enjoy. Then there's the dating platforms online that at first I thought, oh, how shallow can you be that you'd want to meet somebody online? Then I realized, oh no, has a whole lot more depth to meet somebody in a bar, right? But at least these online platforms, you share what's important to you, you share what you like, you share what kind of person you are, and then they match you up. And it makes sense. And you haven't mentioned whether you've tried that or not, but I would definitely give it a shot. And I wish you the best. This last year has really crushed me financially. I am deep in debt, and my wife is afraid we'll lose the house. What can I do to get started getting some traction again? Boy, your wife is afraid you'll lose the house. Well, get on that. You need to know how, and maybe you are, but you need to know there's find outable things. How many payments are you behind? Call your mortgage company and ask them what they can do for you. How much money are you in debt? What are your resources? What can I do to get started getting some traction? Nail this stuff down. What did your mortgage company say they could do for you? Do not go absent on them. Don't go silent. Talk to them. They can work with you and they want to work with you. Pray with your wife. Morning and evening, pray with your wife. And as you get clear on what you need, your prayers will be more and more powerful. Crushed you financially. I don't know what that means. Are you in debt or have you just used up your reserves? How is your health? Prayer will also be helpful for your health. And it'll get you and your wife on the same page. And prayer helps you get to solution from fear. And then watch it daily, daily, daily. You'll get ideas. You'll get opportunities will come that don't come when you're down. You need to get up to get some traction. I don't know what your business is, or I don't know what your job is. Looks like maybe you've got a business if it crushed you financially. I don't know if there are medical bills involved or kids getting married or going to college, but whatever it is, it's the same. Pray with your wife morning and night. Pray for specifics. Find out about what it's going to take to keep your house safe. That's important. I imagine you've got some equity in that house and you don't want to lose it. Find out from the mortgage people what is available and ask them that. What can you do for me? And then have a pen in hand and write it down. So they'll probably email it to you. But you can pull out of this. You can do this. And I wish you the best. Let me know how it goes. God bless you. My 36-year-old daughter still has not found a man, and I want grandbabies. She is overweight and giving up hope. Do I start playing matchmaker more actively? How do I motivate her? Is that effective anymore? Is matchmaking effective anymore? I don't know. And I don't know about your friends or your friends' kids. But let's see what you've told me. She's 36, so that's not old. Has not found a man. I want grandbabies. Okay, that can't be your first wish. It's got to be her happiness. She is overweight. You don't say if she's 10 or 100 pounds overweight. But you can work on her heart and her physical body at the same time. Help her out. Pray with her and pray for her. And there are ways to lose weight. You need an accountability partner and a prayer partner, and you need to set some goals and make a convicted decision to meet those goals. And if you slip up, then you get right back on it the next day. It is available. She needs to get some other things that she enjoys doing, active if possible. And she needs to look at what she eats and how much she eats. Not judgmentally or mean, just very matter-of-factly. What did I eat and how much? And does that make sense given my goals? I'm not going to prescribe a specific diet. We think of a diet as something that we do for a little while. And if she's overweight and down about it, it needs to be a lifestyle kind of change. But there's lots of foods out there that you probably haven't even tried that you might like. So it makes it sort of a fun new experiment that way. As far as matchmaker actively, well, heavens, if you have friends that have possibilities, I think it would be great to invite them over for dinner. I don't know if your daughter lives with you or not, but sure, make sure that your daughter meets people. You can't be too pushy with it, or you get an inverse response to it. But sure, make sure that she meets possibilities, and that's not man hunting. It's just meeting people and At 36, if she wants to get married, she needs to get out there and meet people. Just don't be pushy with it. But pray with her and pray for her and listen to her heart. And don't be flip, because that's really annoying. But look her right in the eye and say that you're concerned and that you love her and that you want to know what her goals are. And then help her with those goals in prayer. And maybe inviting some people over. So I wish you the best. My 13-year-old son is addicted to online games and time with friends online. He's doing well at school, but I would like for him to play more outside. How do I do that naturally without forcing him? Well, I would say talk and pray. And if you're not used to praying with your son, it'll feel weird at first. But I think you're a Christian. You don't mention that. But prayer is so very powerful, because when you pray for somebody, you pray, dear Lord, give us a solution to this problem. Help us to both see an answer instead of like, Lord, get him, get him, get him. Does he agree that he is addicted to online games? Now, it hasn't hurt his schoolwork. So what makes you think he's addicted as opposed to just really enjoying it? Maybe because he's on such an unusual amount. Well, probably not unusual for this day and time, but look him in the eye and talk. I am concerned, not afraid, but I'm concerned about the amount of time that you spend online instead of doing something physical for a wonderful, well-built, or whatever handsome boy like you would normally be during my upbringing would have been outside doing physical things. I don't know how you'd say it, but anyway, compliment him, because when you compliment somebody, it opens up their ears. When you start with criticism, it closes their ears up. So compliment him on what a wonderful kid he is, and that he's doing well at school. Recognize that. But I'd like for you to get outside more. What do you think? And then be quiet and listen to what he says. And then you can reflect back so that he knows you heard him, what he said. So you can say something like, well, what I'm hearing you say is that you just really, really, really enjoy being online. And then you can ask him, well, what do you think about what I said, about my concern that you're indoors so much and that sitting still is causing your muscles to atrophy to some degree? Something like that. Make sure you've heard him and then ask if he has heard you. And then pray together so that you don't have to be worried and he can get some physical exercise. And also go online and you can get some articles about how people that are inactive and the dangers that it is to their health and to their mental ability. And then just slip it to him. Just ask him, I'd like for you to read this. I'd like to know what you think about it. Not like read this because I want you to change, but I'd like to know what you think about it. Because it really is powerful to give somebody a well-written article and they can get it from the article, from the expert, better than they can get it from mom. So I would say pray with him, talk to him very eyeball to eyeball, lovingly, and then see if you can educate him through some articles. So I wish you the best. Okay, my mom criticizes how the finances are handled in our house. So you have to watch your mom making your dad look foolish, I guess. We are going through the Dave Ramsey course, excellent, but not fast enough for her. How can we respectfully create a boundary here? Well, pray with her and talk with her. Let her know. I don't know what she's doing that makes you say that you're not going fast enough for her. Are you doing what the class says to do? If you're doing what the class says to do, then you should be on the same page. So you should be able to talk to her in terms of the Dave Ramsey class, and then get everybody on the same page. Also, is your family praying? Um, and it didn't say that you're not making enough money. It just says she criticizes how the finances are handled. So does that mean she writes the checks and wants him to? I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but whatever it is, the family can get together if you'll pray together explicitly about this. And God's not going to tell one of you one thing and another one of you something that contradicts that. It will help pull the family together. Then the family needs to set goals. I think this is a part of the class, and then work toward those goals. And if your goals are different, then they can be a little different, but they can't contradict each other. They can't slam into each other. So pray together, talk it out with respect, listen to each other, make sure that you reflect back. Okay, Mom, what's troubling you or what really drives you nuts is da 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 da. Is that right? No, that's not it. That's not it. Get clear on what each other's saying and get clear on your goals as a family. Now I think probably you're living with your mom and dad. So I don't know how old you are. And I don't know if you're older, if you're paying rent or that sort of thing. So those kinds of details, you just have to work out. Just look each other in the eye and just talk and pray together as a family. Wish you well. Let's see. How many more questions have we got?
We'll go right up to 4.
Okay. My 16-year-old daughter got a tattoo without my knowing, and I'm very upset. My husband, much less so, and that makes me feel resentment toward both of them. Help. Well, what's done is done. I can see where you'd be annoyed. She's 16. I would pray about it. And I don't know if your family prays together, but yeah, I can see where you'd be really annoyed. Your husband less so, but it sounds like he was at least a little bit mad about that. Start with your husband. Pray before you do, and then just say, honey, I need to talk this out with you, and get clear before you pray about it, and then get clear on what you want your husband to hear from you and how you are hoping he'll respond. It sounds like you just need some empathy, that you feel like you were disrespected and not considered, and then listen to him, because he'll probably say something like, it's past, what are we going to do about it? I don't want to be miserable about this. But he could, you just need to join together. Ask him if he'll pray with you about it, because you don't want to go around mad. You want to get over it and have a happy family. But settle it with your husband. Resentment's a pretty big word in a relationship, and you want to get rid of that. And you should be able to get rid of that by just getting your hearts on the same page, yours with your husband and his with you. You don't need to let the devil win twice. She got the dang tattoo without your permission, and now it's going to disrupt the family. Don't let the devil win twice. Settle it in your hearts, because you can't do anything about the tattoo now. Then, when your hearts are on the same page, the two of you can confront your daughter lovingly and say, we don't like this. It was rebellious or sneaky. Do not do it again. We love you. We want the best for you. When you're 21 years old and supporting yourself, you can do what you like. But until then, you need to respect us as your parents, and don't do that. And then be clear. Were you clear with her that you didn't want her to get a tattoo, or did it just pop up one day? Sometimes we think that we've shared with our kids what our values are, and we have not. So you might dig into that, but do it lovingly. But if you do it together, you and your husband, and you know what you want to say ahead of time, don't just blither out, we're really mad at you. But just say, this is something that's unfortunate. We will move on from here. But this type of thing, or maybe there's other things that you know about, that you have a very specific value, and that you need for her to respect that as long as she's in your home, and you want her to be in your home as long as she needs to be in your home for education's sake, and you love her and you want the best for her. And the whole reason why you're having that talk is because you love her so much, and she's so important to you, and the family's important, and you need to work this out so you can move on. So I wish you well. My career was hit heavily by COVID. Though I still love my career, I'm tired of the instability. I'm thinking of shifting to something more stable, but don't want to give up on my passion. Thoughts? My career was hit heavily. I wish I knew what that meant. I don't know if it just means that you didn't continue to go upwards, or if you lost. Well, let's see. It's a career. So it's not just a job for you, it's a career. And you're getting to live your passion.
Unstable.
Yeah. Stability versus passion. I don't know. We have different seasons in our lives. Just about everybody. They say almost nobody is working in the field that they got their degree in. Certainly doctors, I guess, and well, even a lot of lawyers. A lot of people get their law degree and don't go into law. So you have seasons in your life, and that doesn't mean if you need the money now. If you've got 8 kids and one on the way, and your wife is doing the best she can, you may need to do that for a while, but keep your foot in the door, and keep your skills set where it needs to be, and maybe you can get back. I don't have an answer for you, but I feel like it's not an all or nothing thing. And if it's your passion, it seems like if you can hang in there, maybe take a second job or a second part-time job, you could get stabilized and then just go back to your one job again after things have settled. I really don't have enough detail to give you a specific, but God can. So pray with your wife. I guess you have a wife. I'm not sure. If you don't have and you may be a woman. If you don't have a spouse, get a prayer partner that will pray with you about what to do. I do know that I listen to the prophets, and they're saying that this should be a year of great prosperity for people. And also, God works in mysterious ways sometimes. If whatever you do instead of this passion that you're doing could turn out to be a greater calling even than your passion was. So keep it loose, be willing to accept what God tells you, and keep your eyes wide open. But you seem like somebody that is willing to try different things, but that you also have your feet on the ground and appreciate stability. So I think you probably have good judgment. You just need some direction from God. So ask him for it, because he knows lots more details that we can't know. And if you can get a prayer partner, especially a spouse, that would be wonderful. So I wish you the best.
And here's our last one for this day.
Okay. I am tired of the new year, new you cycles in New Year's resolutions that fizzle in weeks. How do I break the cycle and help this year genuinely be different? What's coming up a lot? Get an accountability partner. Write your goals down. Figure out what the 3 most important ones are. Actually, figure out the one most important one. Write it down. Put it where you can see it every day, every day, every day, every day. Pray concerning those goals. Jot down notes. Jot down thoughts. Because a lot of times God will share something with us and just whoosh. Write it down, write it down, write it down, and pursue it. It's a use it or lose it thing. Even passion is lost if it's not expressed. Goals are lost because you just get busy, and they don't preempt doing the dishes or checking your email that day. But write it down, write it down, write it down, and do something towards those goals every day, even if it's just praying with somebody. Then have somebody accountable that you agree, you make a compact that you will get together and let each other know what you did towards that goal. And a lot of times it doesn't sound possible, but you push yourself to do a little bit more than you would have, because you got to tell Harry that you didn't do a dang thing, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to seem silly or that you couldn't keep your word. An accountability partner is huge, writing it down and clarifying it. And if the goal shifts a little bit, just a little bit, you need to change that goal. Keep up to date, because sometimes as you get towards a goal, it'll change a little bit for you. But how do I break the cycle? You break the cycle by being accountable. Find an accountability partner and pray together about it. Okay. Is that all, John? Okay, we'll end in prayer. Heavenly Father, a lot of people have got questions for you. And I'm so blessed, Father, that you have an answer for all of us. Help us get our ears and our hearts able to hear your word, and that we make good decisions, and that we push ourselves where we need to push ourselves, and we rest when we need to rest. Thank you, Father, that you do have answers for every single problem that we have to conquer. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Goodbye. Hi, I'm Cathy Reichel, life coach, counselor, speaker, video series host, and author of Strong Families, Strong People. With all the stress we're under from the world's endless bombardment, we all need a constant source of strength for ourselves and our families. That is why I'm excited to announce the release of my new book, Strong Parenting: Practical Tips for Strengthening and Enjoying Your Family. In my new book, you will read and explore proven biblical principles and practical tips that will help you think and act like a strong parent, equipping you with tools to help your kids learn good habits in powerful prayer, forgiveness, competition, genuine strength, money management, entertainment, whining, controlling your tongue, chores, and more. Don't let your family feel lost in the chaos of this world. Get your copy now by clicking on the link in the description and start your journey of strong parenting today.